I play chess every single day for 1400 days, which is almost 4 years. And in that time, I've came across a lot of different strategies on how to improve at chess. First of all, let me just join a game so you guys have something interesting to watch. So there is no one secret that's gonna get you to what you want in chess, right? A rating range, let's say 2000, for example. There is no one secret that's gonna get you to 2000 overnight. You have to put the time. There is no way around that. The second thing is opening theory, right? Some people think it's necessary, some people think you don't need opening theory. I would say up until 1500 you don't need any opening theory. You can just develop pieces and you're gonna be fine. Then it's more and more important, or let's say it's better if you know it than not. For example, let's say a marathon runner, right? Can let's say people run a marathon without training? Yes, they can. Some people, obviously not all, right? But some people can do a marathon without any training. Would it be better if they were prepared for it? Obviously yes, right? And it's the same with opening theory in chess. It is the same. I think I'm fine here, right? Right. I mean, I can also just take. Okay, he takes with pawn. Maybe there was some c4 moves, so queen takes and then c4, but whatever. So this is what I'm trying to tell, right? It is better if you know it. If you know opening theory. So why not, right? But again, after you reach 1500 on chess.com. The second thing is middle game. Oh, how do you play better in the middle game? Middle game opening strategy course, whatever. Middle game strategy. Oh, how do you get better at middle game strategy? There is no middle game strategy, okay? You just develop, you have to know your opening, basically. That's it. That's the middle game strategy. If you know where to put the pieces in a specific opening, then you're gonna be all right in the middle game, right? Because you're gonna know what to do. And it depends on the opening. Okay, that's it. Then endgames. Again, I don't think you need to know any theoretical endgames, so here I'm not gonna take. For example, this move, this is just common sense, common chess sense, and this one you get by watching some YouTube videos. For example, Daniel Naroditsky speedrun. You're gonna know never take this pawn because you give up on the dark squares. Anyways, back to the end games. What I can just take, right? Back to the endgames, no theoretical endgames until you reach 1500. And then you should learn, let's say, 4 endgames. So, first one, pawn and king versus king. And then also, obviously, the other way around. So, how to win this endgame and how to draw this endgame, right? Then another one is, okay, now he has to defend this pawn and he loses this one as well. Another one is queen and king versus king and pawn, and the pawn is about to promote, right? So the pawn is already on the 2nd or 7th rank. Okay. If it wasn't check, I could take here. But it is a check. What if I go here? No, then bishop here. I don't know, just go. No, this one comes with tempo. Okay, let me just think about this for a second. I think f5 is fine. Where was I? You see, this is what multitasking does to you. Now I don't know where I was with the thoughts. Endgames, queen, so queen and pawn endgame, pawn and king endgame, Lucina endgame, so this is so annoying, come on. I'm just gonna go here and then move. Lucina endgame, and also the Philidor. So Lucina is winning, so how to win if you have an extra pawn in a rook endgame. And then, this is so annoying. Okay, now I'll win this pawn, finally. Takes, and then I take with the bishop even. So these 4 endgames. Then also puzzles, right? So now I solve probably on average 5 puzzles per day, right? Which sounds like nothing, right? 5 puzzles, I mean, that's what? 5 minutes per day. But it's gonna add up, okay? It is gonna add up over time. And I think this guy just blundered mate, right? It is gonna add up. And also opening theory. So when you reach 1500 and you start practicing opening theory, now I do about 5 lines per day. 5 lines and 5 puzzles. What I mean by lines is, let's say this position, this opening. So first of all, here, this is one. So let's say G3. And then G3 and then what I do. And then what if they play D4? This is another line. And what if they play Knight C3 here? And what if they play... I guess B3 is also a setup. But obviously also then D4 and then what if they play Knight here? What if they play, let's say Maroczy with C4, right? So this is what I mean by lines. So I've practiced 5 of them. Now what does practice mean? It means I just go over the moves. That's basically it. And it takes me, so puzzles and the opening study takes me, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes per day, probably more, yeah, 10 minutes. So it's not a lot, but if you do it every single day, then it adds up, right? What else? YouTube videos, as I mentioned, they give you the chess common sense. So as I was talking in the game, I'm not gonna trade my, let me just do this. I'm not gonna trade my dark square bishop for his knight. So let me just show you the position. It was, I think it was over here somewhere. So I'm not, yeah, it was this one. I'm not gonna do this. So you see the engine, right? It's -1 and you see, okay, free pawn, right? But I'm not gonna take this. I'm not taking this, right? Even though I win a pawn, apparently, okay, there is even b3. But even if there wasn't b3, right? Or rook e4 to pin. Even if this wasn't an option, still, I wouldn't do this because now my dark squares are weak. And he has the bishop, right? This is the reason that I'm not gonna take here, even though I win a pawn. And this is, you can also get this from studying your openings and you know what the ideas are, but also watching educational YouTube videos, not Martin versus 20 queens videos, but let's say Daniel Naroditsky speedrun or some other speedruns, right? Or some other, obviously, educational content, chess content. This is how you get the common sense for chess. And I think that's it. I mean, the advice is it's not complicated, right? The difficult part is applying this advice. So for example, let's say this game that I've just played. Obviously, I wasn't paying attention all the time, but still, d5, right? So I just don't know how to play this position, for example, because I played d5 and I completely forgot that he can go e5 and then he can go d4. And then I'm basically in a French opening and I don't know how to deal with this position, right? So now what I'm gonna do, so this is the part of where you study, where you analyze your games, right? So now I'm just gonna go back to this position and I'm gonna look, okay, e5, so I can play this move, but I don't like this move. Obviously, the idea is that the bishop is gonna support the pawn, so he cannot go d4, but I don't like that. So the next thing is I can go d6, which prevents e5. So, okay, next time when I get this position, I'm gonna go d6. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna remember this probably, but what you can do now is write down the moves, right? So you go into some, let's say on Lichess also you can do that. You go into a study and you input those moves. You get to this position and you play d6. And then let's say in 1 week, you just repeat this. You get this, you look at this position and you say, okay, what do I do here? I go d6, and you look, okay, d6 is correct, right? And that's how you improve, right? Simple. But it's not simple actually, because it's hard, right? I mean, the easiest thing is just to click play and go on to another game. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it, right? Let me just quickly analyze this game as well, because why not? Okay, f5 was not correct. Rook d8. Okay, rook d8. Here. Okay, obviously. Bishop g5, okay, whatever, but rook d8 was correct. I went here. Yeah, now this check is a problem. Okay, but this was fine. Yeah, and then he just blundered mate. And by the way, he's not a paid actor, this is just a random person. Yeah, just completely blundered. Rook e2 was the move. Rook e2. Okay, and then he gets, wow, okay, yeah, that's a tough move. How do you spot moves like rook e2? Puzzles, right? That's a puzzle thing. I don't think there is anything else you can do for that. So play puzzles and you're gonna be able to spot moves like rook e2. Obviously, the idea is takes, and then he takes, and then I have to block with the rook, and then he can, okay, even queen d8. I thought bishop c3, but apparently I can just defend and then takes, and then up a pawn in the end. But yeah, he goes check. I have to block now. Then he goes check. I block and then it's mate, right? Because this rook is pinned, king cannot go anywhere. So yeah, this is what he should have done, but instead he goes rook here. What would be a human move? Let's say queen f3. Queen f3 would be a human move, then a5, bishop d6. And notice also, yes, I am doing the game review, but I'm using the engine mainly to analyze, right? So you don't have to buy the membership on chess.com to analyze. You can just do it with the engine, right? And it's also better because you see more options. Because game review just says, yeah, this is better, and then it just spits out a random computer line and you don't understand why it's better, right? And here you can just input the moves yourselves and you see why one thing works, right? And yeah, so then we get the checkmate, and with that, the video is also over. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you next time.